every time I read the stories of the Sahaba, from the earliest generation, and the sacrifices they made, it absolutely amazes me. From the story of Sumayya radiallahu anha, to Yasir radiallahu an, Bilal radiallahu an, Khabbab radiallahu an. When I read the narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam standing in tahajjud prayer all night, it amazes me. And I ask myself, were these people human beings or were they superhuman? And for many years in my life, I was convinced that these people were not average, normal human beings. They were superhumans. That's how they were able to stand for so long in tahajjud and read so much Quran and travel on such long journeys just for one or two ahadith. But then one day I asked myself, do I find an example of this sacrifice in today's day and age in the community I live in? Do people like this who are able to make this sort of sacrifice actually exist? And the answer was absolutely yes. There are people who sacrifice. I know people who wake up 4 a.m. every morning to go to work because they understand the need for that sacrifice in order to gain something material. I know people who are willing to travel from one part of the world to another part of the world for a holiday. I've met people like this. I know people who are willing to go on a train for 2 hours just to get to college and will sit on a train for 2 hours and come back home. I know people who, preparing for their exam, won't eat, they'll skip 2 meals a day. They'll just have toast and coffee. I've met people like this. I know people who are willing to climb a wall and jump over, put their life on the line so they can reach Europe, so that way they can increase their standard of living. I know people like this. I've seen people like this. And if people can make these sacrifices for worldly gain, then why can't people make these sacrifices for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's all about where your heart is dragged to. Whether you bring it in one direction or whether you take it in the other direction. You have to learn to focus on nurturing your heart, developing that heart, building that heart.